I grew up on a farm in Long Island in Nassau County. If you were the best football team in the county, you won the Rutgers Cup. So I had a lot of interest in Rutgers the entire time that I was in high school. I had a couple of high school friends who went to Rutgers, had a great experience here, and it sort of got me very excited about being here. When I came to Rutgers, it was very different. There were 144 players on the freshman team. Freshmen could not play varsity football at the time. Most of the players that were here were from out of state. We had a lot of Ohio, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Long Island kids, some New Jersey, but we had a lot of out-of-state students. And at the time, there was not a lot of support with the academic programs, and about half of the students actually flunked out of school and never played here beyond the first year that they were here. So it was very exciting to come here and to be at Rutgers with a lot of great athletes. It was very different in terms of the support of the program. For instance, we only practiced every other day because you didn't have enough room for 144 athletes to participate in the program. The teams were broken down into different colors. The red and the black team were both the starting teams on the freshman squad, and each of them played both offense and defense. And it was very exciting to play with 144 kids. Well, once we got here and we looked at the academic programs, we sat in our classrooms, and one of my instructors, his name was Barney Bond, he was our chemistry teacher. He said, to looking at the 100 students or so sitting in the classroom, he said, look to your right, look to your left. One of those students won't be sitting there next semester. And that was sort of an indication of the quality and of the academic programs here. They were very difficult, very demanding, and it took a lot of work to get you through the program. So I think my initial reaction at Rutgers was, wow, I have a great opportunity to participate in sports, but there's a great opportunity for me to get a good education, and that was a big part of the decision, and it turned out to be very true. In terms of the programs, though, here, I guess the most exciting time that I spent on the banks was the Centennial Week, the 100th anniversary of college football, where Rutgers and Princeton played in the first game in 1869. I was very lucky to be the captain, one of the captains of the 1969 100th anniversary of college football. It was a whole week of activities that took place here. My roommate and I, Bob Stonebreaker, who was the other co-captain, we signed 5,000 first day issue stamps that were given out on that day. We had lots of activities going on during the week. Ozzie and Harriet, famous family on TV, were the coin toss folks for the game. We had dinner with them. It was very exciting to be here during that week. And then, of course, the game itself was the only game on TV on Channel 7, and it was Rutgers-Princeton. We came out on top 29-0, and as a result of that, Bob Stonebreaker and I, along with John Bateman, were asked to be on the Ed Sullivan Show the night after the game, which was very exciting, especially for my mom, who called everybody she knew. I think the phone lines were tied up for most of the day that day, and we were on the Ed Sullivan Show, and it happened to be the night of his birthday. It was very exciting to be a part of that. The nice thing about Rutgers athletics and academics and all is it really is a great family in terms of what we've done here. I'm still close to coaches and players and folks that we've been involved with for over these years. In fact, one of the great stories I have about family is I have a daughter who's in Johnson & Wales in North Miami, and she got an internship in Bonita Springs. And my football coach, Bill Speranza, lives in Bonita Springs. He took my daughter into his house for 3 months and treated her like she was his child. So our family and our environment is just, it's intense here. We're very close. I had the opportunity working here at the university to be responsible for many of my coaches' kids, their sons and daughters, who came to the university for an education. So we got to be very, very close and very family-oriented. Even now, today, we'll have dinner and go out with a dozen or more players that I was involved with here when we played here, and we've stayed pretty close for the entire time. And I think that's one of the great things about the Rutgers family, is that we are there to support each other, and we become friends and stayed friends for 50 years. Well, I've been here now working at Rutgers for almost 44 years. And if you add on when I first came as a recruit, that's about 50. I absolutely love this place. I think it's great. I've been here in a number of different responsibilities. When I first came back to Rutgers, I started out as a freshman football coach, and I was also an instructor in the Environmental and Business Economics Department on the Cook campus, which was then the College of Agriculture and Environmental Science. And then I took a job in the academic services area, and then I was the Dean of Students for a number of years. And during that period of time, when I was the Dean of Students, I had an opportunity to be involved with lots of athletes in the university. And I saw the great family environment that we had. We were close. We knew each other. It was fun. If somebody had a concern, they had an opportunity to talk to people who had participated in sports at Rutgers and now were in the academic programs to make sure that everything goes smoothly for them. So Rutgers has always been a family. It's what I grew up with, a family environment. I came here and that never changed, and it included everyone. It included faculty and staff and players and parents and everybody else, and it's really a great environment. Well, the Letter Winners started back in 1987. A bunch of us met in Don Heilman's office. He was an attorney in Milltown, New Jersey. And we sat down and we wanted to find a way for us to continue to interact in the athletic environment and the football environment here at the university. And so we started an organization. It was for everybody. We sat down, we did a little strategic planning to decide what we wanted to be. We became a 501c3 charitable organization, and it was all about networking. Our whole lives have been about networking in terms of what we did, and we wanted to make sure that everybody who came through the Rutgers football program had an opportunity to network with the people who went before them. We had an opportunity to interact in the program now and provide support and guidance for the people. So everybody who has participated in the Rutgers football program, and that includes coaches, players, managers, are invited to be a part of the Football Letter Winners organization. And again, for us, it's all about networking. It's about making sure that you all have the same opportunities once you go beyond the Rutgers football program. Some of you are going to get an opportunity to go and play football, and others are going to have to go out and find a job and do some other things, and you have a great support area coming from the Football Letter Winners. And there's about 1,500 of us strong in terms of the organization. But we're very excited about the new programs in the university that Sean Tucker is working with, the Leadership Academy, and it gives the new players, the players who are there now, an opportunity to see what went before them and to be involved with the new players when they leave. So they'll get that same opportunity. I want to say around 1997, 98, 99, we played the varsity coming out of spring camp in 3 of their spring games. And it was very exciting. Terry Shea was the coach. And he and I talked about it a lot, and we decided that it would be a good thing for the alumni to get involved in the program and come back and play. So at first I was thinking of playing, and then people reminded me that people maybe think you were pretty good, and if you get on the field now, that's what they're going to remember. So I decided I would coach. I brought in a lot of coaches from our team. Bill Pickell, who was playing in the NFL, Richie Policastro, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, Bob Naso, who's one of our coaches, came in and coached the team. I had 57 players in that first year come back and play. We practiced for 2 hours the day before the game, and we went down and played. I had some very good players, people who hadn't been out a long time, but I did have one of the older players, was 49 years old. He was the oldest player who played in the game. I started a fullback by the name of Jeff Gresham, who I believe was 46 years old at the time, and he still lives in the area here, in the Middlesex County area. And we had a great time. We actually won the first game, 10-6. Pretty exciting. The next 2 years that we played it, we were not as successful. The second year we played in the rain, and they beat us 41-7. And the third year, we came back, and we were ahead 12-10 with 2 seconds left in the game, and they were on the 1-yard line, and they ran a play, and we stopped them cold. The referee threw a flag and said we had 12 men on the field. I said that was not really accurate, but they got another shot at it, and they came back and scored, and they won the game. Well, Bob Mulcahy, who was the athletic director at the time, came and walked off the field with me, put his arm around me, and he said, "Lee, we're never going to play this game again. This is really not good for our football program that you guys were able to come back and play that." But I know the letter winners really enjoyed it. It was right when the letter winners were starting to get really involved in the program, and it was a very exciting time. We certainly realize now that with the size and the power of the players that we could not do that now, but it was a nice piece of Rutgers history to be a part of that, which is very exciting. Well, in playing the game 3 years, we had a lot of interesting stories. The one story we always talk about is only one player actually got hurt. I think all the guys couldn't walk or get up too easily for the next 4 or 5 months, but only one player actually broke his thumb, Pat Udovich, in the game, and we never had any other major injuries. The interesting thing about the third game that we played in is we were ahead. We were ahead 12-10, and we had the ball. There was a fumble exchange, and they got the ball back on about the 50-yard line. There were less than 2 minutes left in the game, and Reggie Funderburk, who was one of my wide receivers and a great member of the Letter Winners organization, said, "Coach, call timeouts, take a knee. They have no more timeouts left. Don't stop the clock. Let it run. We'll beat them that way." And I go, "Nah, just let's let them play and see what they do." So they went down to the 1-yard line, and we stopped them cold on the 1-yard line. And the referee threw a flag and said we had 12 men on the field. So they got another play, and they had an opportunity. They ran the play in. They ran it in for a touchdown, and they beat us 16-10. But at the end of that game, Bob Mulcahy, who was the athletic director, walked off the field with me and put his arm around and said, "We'll never play this game again. It's really not a good thing for our program to see our alumni come in and play that well." But remember, we had some really, really talented alums who were not that far out of school, so we were very capable of playing them pretty well.